Hello, I am Dr. Elizabeth Igaga. I am an anesthesiologist and currently the treasurer at the Association of Anesthesiologists of Uganda. Today we are seated at the AAU office in Bukoto with a very special guest in commemoration of the September 17th World Patient Safety Day 2023, whose theme was Engaging Patients in Patient Safety. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Eddie Sekitto as my guest today. Eddie, thank you
Um,
so much for taking the time to talk to us about your experience as a patient in commemoration of this important World Patient
thank you
Safety
for
Day.
inviting me. I'm glad to be here. My name is Eddie Sekitto. I'm a businessman dealing in real estate. I currently sit at Kisozi Complex.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So we're just going to dive into it. It's good to know that your background, and we'll get there in a bit.
Okay.
So I would like to give a bit of background to our viewers and our listeners. How did you end up in the doctor's office? What were the issues at the time, and what decision was made?
I had breathing problems and my tonsils were really enlarged. I actually had no neck. So what triggered this? I was at a wedding and everybody was complaining about my breathing
Okay.
and my condition. They felt like we had to do something about it. So I was referred to a certain doctor, an ENT doctor, who's also a surgeon, and I made my way there. When I went there, he told me, I think I may need a surgery. So I was sent to a certain laboratory, to do my tests before, those tests you do before surgery, which I went ahead and did. And a date was scheduled, and I was told, such and such a date, you're going to have a surgery.
Okay.
Don't eat
Okay.
8 hours before,
right.
which I followed. And then I was duly there
Okay.
at that hospital.
Before we go there,
Yes.
you mentioned something where you said you didn't have a neck. Help
Yes.
us understand that a bit more.
I was overweight.
Okay.
I was extremely overweight. I could hardly move. If I was to move from one place to another,
Yeah.
you could hear me breathing. I'm not asthmatic, but you could think I was, because at times when I was trying to catch my breath, I would wheeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any other problems? So you've talked about wheezing. You were significantly overweight. It was difficult for you to move.
I also had a problem with smoking. I was very, very unfit, and my eating habits were not good at all.
What does that mean? For our viewers, they need to understand what
I
what
never
was
I
actually
never
like.
chose I never chose I used to have a lot of junk.
Okay.
I would go through about a big bottle of 2 liter um, Coca-Cola bottle in like 2 days, or
Okay.
even less.
All right. And how were you sleeping?
I had a problem sleeping,
Okay.
very, very big problem sleeping. So at a certain point, I was addicted to sleeping tablets. Yes. I had to take one. I started with one, then two, then three, you know, like a night,
So 3 every night for you to be able to get
to
some sleep.
some decent sleep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you've gone to the surgeon. He has suggested that you have surgery, and you've gone and done your due diligence with the tests. When you came to hospital on the day of surgery, what happened?
I was supposed to be at the hospital at 6 o'clock. I was there at 6 o'clock with a friend of mine and my
6 in
sister.
the morning or
6 in the
6 in the
morning.
evening?
6 in the morning, very early in the morning.
Okay.
I was picked by my friend at around 5:30. I'd done my prayers. At 6 o'clock, we were at the hospital. We go to the reception. We presented our papers and our appointments, and then I think the surgeon came, and then preparations were being made. My weight was taken. Everything was being done, and then so I thought I was going to go into surgery. Of course, I was a bit jittery. And then the anesthesiologist came
Okay.
and told me, examined me actually,
Okay.
and she was a little concerned. she decided to run more tests. Huh? She thought I was not fit for surgery that day.
Okay.
So certain tests were made. Huh? And then there was some back and forth that started happening.
Okay.
That is when the stalemate started. Some people thought I should go for surgery. Actually, the surgeon thought I should go for the surgery anyway. But then everybody else was like, no, 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 you're not fit. You're not fit. Because they continued to examine me. They checked my liver. They checked everything. The more tests that were done, the more I looked like I wasn't fit for surgery, even though it looked like a very simple surgery. My blood, my INR was almost 3 times what it should be. That means my blood could not clot in time. So that alone was a problem because tonsillectomy is somewhere near the windpipe. If that blood cannot clot easily, it will basically end up in the windpipe. So doctors were called, more doctors were called. At the end of the day, there was a lot of back and forth. Some I could hear, some I could see, and some I could not. But all I know that there was a lot of back and forth within the doctors, amongst them. So apparently we had to wait for a senior doctor, more senior. He came, we had a discussion, he examined me.
So what concerns did the senior doctor raise? The anesthesiologist who came to see you.
My breath. I could not, you could hear me breathing from a mile away. I could, my weight was too much. I was actually very uncomfortable as a person.
Okay.
There was no way she could put me to sleep in that condition I was in. My organs, because I don't think all my organs would have responded properly. Not only the blood, because I think even the liver and everything. Yeah. So we decided to run more tests. And the more tests that were run, the more she was right. So we ended up deciding to wait a little longer for some changes to be made, lifestyle changes to be made, and maybe see if I could still need the surgery.
Okay. So how did you feel about your surgery being postponed at the time?
After the information I got, I felt like I had dodged a bullet.
You felt like you had dodged a bullet.
Yes.
How so?
Okay, at first I was a bit disappointed that it hadn't happened then. But then the more information I got, the more I realized I had survived because I consulted my other friends in the medical field and they looked at my papers and they were telling me with this kind of INR, there's no way you would have survived.
Right. Okay. So you said you decided to postpone the surgery and then carry out some lifestyle changes. What changes did you make and how easy or difficult was it for these changes for you to make these changes?
First of all, I was told to change my diet.
Okay.
I was put on a very strict regime. My food changed so much.
Okay.
There was
Help us
no.
understand that a little bit. So you said you were eating a lot of junk,
I was
drinking a lot of soda.
I was,
What changed?
the things that I knocked out of my diet. For a long time, there was no rice, chapati, there was no soda, and now I hardly had anything that is fried.
Okay.
Most of the stuff I ate was boiled
Okay.
or maybe roasted.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else that you did apart from your nutrition?
Exercise.
Okay.
That was the most interesting part.
Okay. Do tell.
I joined a gym. It's actually an outdoor gym. It's called Drake's Boot Camp. At that time, it was called Revolution. Oh my God. My first days were hell.
How so?
Because they do resistance training.
Okay.
It is very, very intense. Very, very intense. I started working out 4 days a week. And Saturdays we usually had a very physical boot camp.
Yeah.
So my first day was a Saturday when the boot camp was there. I almost got burned. It was hell. But then when I went back on Monday, I started slowly. So over time, within a month, I had caught up.
Okay.
Within 2 months, that's when I had to see the anesthesiologist for review. And I was much, much better.
Okay.
Because of the exercise, I was breathing better. Because I had lost weight, I could sleep actually.
Okay.
Actually, when you work out, every time you work out, it makes sleep easier. When you eat well, you actually live better. So I felt a very, very good. I lost a lot of weight. Actually, I was actually much smaller than this.
Okay.
I lost a lot of weight. I used to feel better. I started playing football, boxing. Everybody that met me was impressed with my changes. I actually had to change my wardrobe
Oh,
because
okay.
my clothes couldn't fit.
They were smaller, they were bigger.
The clothes I had become too big.
They had become too big.
Yes.
Okay. Before you started exercise, when you were still in your previous lifestyle, how much exercise did you used to do?
Zero.
You said you had started going to the gym 4 days a week, but before that,
There was zero.
no exercise at all.
Zero workout.
Okay. Any other changes that you made? You told us you used to smoke quite a bit.
Yes, I used to smoke. I used to go through a pack a day.
A pack a day.
Yeah. But then I was given patches and gum. They didn't really help much.
Okay.
But then when I had started working out, I think when I was like a month in or two, or we got into Ramadan. So usually I don't smoke during Ramadan. So I used that chance to quit smoking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you smoke now?
No, I don't smoke.
Okay. So you haven't smoked since.
See, I've not smoked since that time.
And what has changed now that you don't smoke?
I sleep better. I breathe better. I can actually exercise. I can actually run. Given if I can walk long distances because during COVID I would go as much as 25, 30 kilometers
Okay.
walking. That was during the lockdown. Yes.
All right. So basically, when you started making these changes, you started to breathe better, you started to sleep better, you generally felt better, you stopped smoking, you
Yes.
lost quite a bit of weight, and you mentally tell us what the before and after.
Of course, because I was sleeping better, I had more time. My decision making was much better.
Okay.
I started taking my health very serious. I started appreciating my diet. The lifestyle changes actually made me like myself so much, a lot more. Even though with esteem, self-esteem. Yes.
So your confidence grew,
Okay,
your
yes,
self-esteem
yes.
grew, you started to like who you are as a person once again. Okay. Did you have any support or did you do all this on your own?
Oh my God. I had a lot of support, especially from my sister. I was actually in hospital, so she saw how serious it was. My aunties, my mom, the aunties who paid for my gym, even during lockdown, their friends who sent me gym equipment, and actually that was during lockdown. I had a lot of support, and even my coach. My coach was very, very, very encouraging.
Okay. And you think that contributed to these changes and being able to actually make them a lifestyle?
Oh yes. Because the gym I joined was like a family.
Okay.
So it helped me a lot more to get a sense of belonging. Because every time your clock will know that at 4 o'clock you're supposed to be heading to the gym. So you start meeting the same people, you associate with them. Some of them have the same problems that you do. And then there are some people who come after with the same issues. Some have had them before, some are going through them. It really helped me get a sense of belonging.
Okay. All right. So I want to go back a little bit to the information that you were given in the hospital when the decision to postpone your surgery was being made. Were your doctors too honest? Do you feel like they were too honest? And how would was the information packaged appropriately in your opinion?
Yes, it really helped me a lot. Really helped me a lot because taking that decision to wait to have the surgery really served me.
Right. Okay. So now I want us to compare Eddie, who walked into the hospital maybe 2 years ago, and now. What's the difference?
Um, Mentally, I'm in a much better place.
Okay.
Much better place. Physically, it's, it's evident. You can see. I really, I really enjoy the life I'm living now.
Okay.
Yes, I'm enjoying the life I'm living now. Right now, I've not worked out in a couple of months, but I still feel confident that if you told me to run somewhere, I would easily make it there.
Before, could you do that?
No, not even 100 meters.
Not even 100 meters. Okay. So, there might be a patient out there or one of our viewers who is listening to your story and wondering, I want to go to the hospital, but I don't know how to engage. How would you advise a patient to be part of the care? Because for you, clearly, you are part of the decision making process, and it seemed to go as well as it could possibly go. How would you advise a patient out there to be part of the decisions that are being made for their healthcare?
You can't make the right decision without the right information. Try and get as much information as you can, and take your time. Take your time and digest it. Because if I hadn't got that information, maybe I would have gone along with the surgery. But it's good that doctors were honest with me. They told me everything, however brutal it was, and they advised me to make those changes, and they gave me the option. If you really think you really need it after this time, you can go ahead. But it was very important that I got that information. That is what helped me make that decision.
Okay. All right. Eddie, thank you for taking the time to come and tell us your story. Thank you for choosing yourself, for choosing to take charge of your health. And I'm sure that many of our viewers are definitely going to benefit from, listening to your story. Perhaps they may reach out to interact with you. I don't know, but we'll see where this goes.
You're welcome.
Thank you once
You're
again
welcome.
for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
So to all our viewers, thank you for listening to this extremely important interview. If you would like to know more about the kind of work that we do at the Association of Anesthesiologists of Uganda, we are going to link our social media handles below. We also have a website that also will show you where our office is, so please feel free to reach out to us, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.